Hello once again. This is me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting as usual from HASLINGDEN, north of Manchester in the UK. Today is Wednesday the 17th of November 2010. Note the hat. I'm going to talk today about Hitler's Germany and tobacco. If you think I'm going to talk about how the Germans smoked tobacco, you're mistaken. What I'm going to say is this. This country fought Hitler tooth and nail during the war, and in the Battle of Britain we defeated the Luftwaffe and managed to prevent Germany winning the war and taking over the entire planet. Hitler was a maniac, absolute lunatic, and as Churchill said, he had a grisly gang behind him who worked his wicked will. Now, you're wondering what the connection is with tobacco. Well, I'm going to tell you this. We defeated Hitler. It took the whole world 5 years, but we did it in the end. All I can say is, thank God that Nazi Germany wasn't run by the people who run the tobacco industry, because those guys never give in. Those guys don't care how many people they kill, poison, bankrupt by producing this disgusting, disgraceful, dirty, filthy, dangerous product called tobacco. And it's not just the tobacco industry. Many people make a living out of selling tobacco. All the supermarkets do. You ask Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Carrefour why they sell this dangerous product, and they shuffle their feet and explain that it's quite legal. Well, this is the excuse the tobacco industry gives. If you say to them, why do you sell something which you know poisons your customers? Why do you sell something which does nobody, and I mean nobody, any good whatsoever? Tobacco does you no good whatsoever. There is nothing in tobacco which will give you the slightest pleasure. Nicotine is the most addictive substance on planet Earth. It's harder to give up nicotine once it's in your system than it is to give up the habit of taking heroin or cocaine. That just gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. Now, the tobacco companies, they knew how addictive nicotine was from the time they started. But because they set about wanting to make more and more money and hook more and more people with this very, very useful drug from their point of view, because it meant you've got your customers are your slaves, effectively, the slaves of the product, which is the same situation with the illegal drugs. Now, you've got to be pretty brass-necked to produce something which you know is killing your customers in such a painful way. But these guys never give in. Never do they give in. If they're restricted in their activities, for example, if we don't allow them to advertise quite so much over here, then they go to countries where, less advanced countries, where they can put up hoardings showing cowboys on a horse, giving you the impression that it's very manly and very butch to smoke a certain kind of make-up cigarette. And we all know what that is because we saw it down the years over here. Now, in addition to all of this, these guys, they knew before the doctors announced it that the damage that cigarettes do to you and all tobacco products do to you, but they kept quiet about it. Only now that they're faced with the reality, they just say, when you ask them why do they do this, why do they want to kill people, they say, well, it's legal and they're adult, so they know that if they buy our products, how dangerous they are. Well, that beggars the question. I mean, it's putting the horse before the cart and the cart before the horse twice over, if you know what I mean. It's smoke and mirrors. And on top of, if you think it through, we're wasting all that space growing tobacco in the fields. People tending it, harvesting it, and then doctoring it to make it even more dangerous than it already is, and then selling it. And there's all the people involved in selling it, all the customs people all over the world involved in preventing it being smuggled and in taxing it and all the rest of it. Then there are all the nurses dealing with all the sick people and all the poor people sat at home coughing and spluttering, unable to climb the stairs because their lungs are shot because of tobacco. And all the people walking the streets looking for cigarette ends because they can't afford to buy another packet of cigarettes. And all the people standing in the street outside the pubs throwing the cigarette ends into the street. It's a dirty, filthy, smelly, dangerous habit. And people should give it up. And government should do more to stop it. And I see New Zealand has decided to do that. In the long run, they say we're going to stop tobacco. They'll find it difficult because people will start growing it at home, and then it'll become like heroin and cocaine. It'll be illegal but smuggled, and people will still be able to get it. Now, on top of everything else, these guys in the tobacco industry spend a fortune employing lawyers to fight all the court cases brought against them. So we've got a product which is totally useless, dangerous, unhealthy, dirty, smelly, and employs millions of people all over the world dealing with its bad face, by dealing with the bad side of it, because it does no good. There's nothing good you can say about tobacco, nothing whatsoever. If we discovered tobacco tomorrow, it would be so dangerous, we would say, that it has to be banned. It is that bad. So why these guys who manage these tobacco industries aren't hoping that their trade will fall so that less of their fellow men will suffer, I don't know. But that's the effect that money has. People will do anything for money. And many of them make a good living out of it, very good living. But how they sleep at night, I don't know. But thank God Nazi Germany wasn't run by these people, because these people never give in. No matter what, they're happy that their sales are going up, which means more and more people are dying an agonizing death with mouth cancer, cancer of the tongue, cancer of the lungs and the esophagus, and all kinds of other diseases, heart failure, lung failure, you name it. Now, I've got to close now, but I'm going to continue the next few days, so keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled. And I will say cheerio, God bless, while it's still legal in the UK to God bless. Remember the hat. And take care.